Hello and welcome to Battleground 2014. We are in Hyderabad, the capital of United Andhra Pradesh. On June 2nd, Andhra Pradesh as we know it will cease to exist. There will be two new states that will come into being, Telangana and Simandhra. We are here to discuss the election prospects in Andhra Pradesh. What is amazing about Andhra Pradesh is that two elections are being held simultaneously for Lok Sabha and for the two assemblies that will eventually come into being. In Simandhra, the fight is primarily between YSR Congress led by Jagan Mohan Reddy and Telugu Desam Party of Chandrababu Naidu. Naidu also hopes to ride the rise of Narendra Modi to success by having an alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party. This alliance doesn't seem to work in Telangana, however, where the BJP supported the creation of Telangana and the TDP was wavering about it till the end. In Telangana, friends have turned foes. The Congress party is in the main contest really, with the Telangana Rashtra Samiti of K. Chandrasekhar Rao. Now, how will all this play out? To discuss the election scene and the prospects of various political parties in this divided state, I have with me a very distinguished panel of experts. We have Professor Jyotirmay Sharma. He is Professor of Political Science at University of Hyderabad and one of those rare people who straddled the world of journalism and academia successfully. And we have here Mr. Zaheeruddin Ali Khan. He is a well-known public intellectual, a philanthropist, but more importantly, he is also the managing editor of Siasat Daily, the largest read Urdu paper in this part of the world. And we have here my old friend G.S. Vasu, a formidable political correspondent and the resident editor of the New Indian Express. I have covered elections with him and have remained a great admirer of his reportage and his analytical skills. So welcome all of you to this discussion. Jyoti, let me begin with you. If a united Andhra Pradesh brought the Congress to power in 2004 and again in 2009, do you think a divided Andhra this time will be the ruin of the Congress?
I think the ruin of the Congress is so comprehensive everywhere that I don't think you should blame the united or the divided Andhra Pradesh for the ruin of the Congress.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the single issue. I mean, let me reformulate my answer. I don't think that Andhra Pradesh will provide, in any sense, the numbers that you require for the BJP to form the government as it did to the Congress in 2009. I think the equation has changed, the ground level reality has changed, and the divided state has ceased to be the player that it was in 2009.
Exactly. So it will take away the numbers from Congress this time.
Yeah.
Zahir Saab, how much confusion, if at all, has been created by the fact that people in these two prospective states are voting both for Lok Sabha and for the respective assemblies at the same time?
I think for the last 20 years we have been voting together, both assembly and parliament.
But as one state?
Yeah, as one state. Personally, what I feel is we have been running this country for the last 25 years. Because I like to say, whether it's UPA, NDA, Andhra Pradesh has been backbone in running this country.
They say the same thing in Tamil Nadu, by the way.
Yeah. So whether it's a Gujarat government or Devagowda government or NDA government or Congress government, we were very instrumental in running this country.
Okay. Vasu, how or which way will the gratitude of the people of Telangana shift this time between the Congress and the TRS?
Attitude, most parts of Telangana over the last 10 days. I doubt if it is going to swing one way. The people are really caught between Congress and the TRS. The Congress for having delivered Telangana, though belatedly, which is what they seem to feel. And the TRS, which has been the prime mover behind the movement. The whole movement was started by the TRS, though it has been accused of, running it in fits and starts and all that. So they're really caught. So I don't see either of the parties taking the maximum gains. My own sense is that the political dividends should be divided between the two, with one of them having a margin.
So they will not be equally divided?
More or less equally divided. Okay. Maybe one of the two parties, having a slight edge over the other.
Okay. Zahir Saab, I remember you telling me that BJP used to have a base in Telangana and that in 1989 and 1991, in 9 constituencies, they got more than 1 lakh votes.
Yes.
Now, do you think the party has now lost support in this region because it had promised Telangana first in 1997, but didn't deliver on Telangana in 2003 when it created Uttarakhand, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, when it could have created Telangana if it wanted to. And this time also they kept on wavering till the end.
Yeah, BJP lost a lot of base in Telangana. One reason was Telugu Desam coming up to power and they have marginalized BJP.
Yeah.
Second is they have not given Telangana in 2003 with Uttarakhand. So people have lost faith in BJP because of that.
Yeah. Okay. Jyoti, the Telugu Desam party used to have a lot of Muslim support, and Chandrababu Naidu used to boast about it. He used to go to iftar parties and he would go to meetings of Muslim organizations and so on and so forth. So what has persuaded him to give up his secular credentials for the second time now? He had first done it in 1999, he's done it now, and he had about 160 Muslim office bearers in his party. Apparently 110 of them have left and have joined either the Majlis Ittihadul Muslimin or the TRS.
I don't think anybody ever believed that Chandrababu Naidu had any ideology other than himself. I think to say that he was secular once, I think is an overstatement. What was important in 1999 and his support of the NDA government subsequently was the fact that he could reassure people at that point of time that he was actually in supporting the NDA at the center, trying to minimize the influence of the BJP here. That the BJP was simply a sidekick in Andhra Pradesh.
That's not the case now.
It's not the case now, and he's going to pay for it.
Okay. In fact, let me take that question to Zahir Saab. So, do the Muslims feel that Chandrababu Naidu has betrayed them, that he's a rank opportunist? And is that going to affect his fortunes in Telangana?
He is a rank opportunist, there is no doubt about it. But Muslims have never believed him.
Exactly.
Why? Because the Muslims were going either with Congress or YSR in Andhra Pradesh. So he didn't have any option except to go with BJP.
Okay.
I would like to add
sure.
one point here. It's the fact that Muslims would have otherwise also not voted for the TDP. And for Naidu, it's a do or die battle. A defeat in this election will perhaps signal the end of the story for the Telugu Desam, once and for all.
In Telangana, you mean?
No, in
All
both
over.
the places. In both the places. There are about 30 constituencies in the residuary state of Andhra Pradesh where Muslims are in sizable number. And they can, influence the final outcome. And they were with the YSR Congress. So obviously he's, I think in one way, trying to consolidate the Hindu vote, considering the fact that YSR Congress primarily rides on its Dalit, Christian, plus Muslim, plus Reddy vote bank.
Okay. Jyoti, I wanted to ask you, how upset are the Muslims with the Congress party? Because it was the UPA government led by the Congress, which actually put 60 Muslim youngsters in jail for their alleged role in Makkah Masjid blast. And they were released only when it was found that this was the work of Hindutva terrorists like Swami Asimanand. So are the Muslims going to punish the Congress for this injustice to the community, or are they going to say, all right, we have to keep BJP at bay, so let's go with the second best option, that is the Congress?
Well, I think they will vote tactically. I mean, that's my belief. Zahir Saab will want to add to that. They will vote tactically, but I don't think that they will punish the Congress only for the simple reason that they wouldn't want Modi as the option.
They have already punished the Congress in 2009. In North Telangana, where this Bhaisa and Vatoli happened after, and the bomb blast, Congress was wiped out from all 4 districts of North Telangana.
Okay. So
and they voted for Telugu Desam because of this. And now there's no alternative for them except to vote for Congress or
and
TRS.
Tactically.
Practically.
Do you agree with this?
I think so. In Telangana, at least, in Simandra, I think they'll primarily go with the YSR Congress.
Yes.
Okay.
Across Simandra. In Telangana, perhaps it could be a tactical voting like what Mr. Sharma is saying, depending on who is the main opponent.
Okay.
And also, if I can just add to what Vasu has said, you see the thing with the interesting bit with the YSR Muslims supporting the YSR Congress is YSR Congress and Jagan Mohan Reddy have said that he'll support anyone at the center but the Congress. But if he gets the support of the Dalits, the Christians and the Muslims,
Yeah.
I don't know how he'll do that.
Okay.
I mean, what pill will he give them for them to swallow,
Yeah.
saying that he'll support a Modi government at the center?
Yeah. Zaid Sab, although the main contest in Telangana seems to be between the Congress and the TRS, what will happen in those constituencies where there's a triangular contest, where a TDP, BJP candidate is also there?
You know, for the first time in Telangana or Andhra Pradesh, we'll have the triangular contest and four-cornered contest also in some constituencies. And if you look at Telangana, Muslims are a good percentage of voters in 30 constituencies. So they will vote for tactical voting, go for tactical voting and see that BJP and TDP is defeated.
Okay. Is there a Modi wave? Did you see any Modi wave during your travels in Telangana?
I wouldn't call it a wave, but I wouldn't write it off at the same
So
time.
how would you, how different is it in urban areas and rural areas?
It's very predominant in urban areas, primarily among the first-time voters. Not just first-time voters, I would say between 18 and 30 age group. And that seems to be sort of rubbing off on the middle-aged. Though those beyond 40 do not seem to be greatly enamored by the Modi wave.
So in triangular contest, BJP candidates and BJP TDP candidates will be a factor.
Of course, there will be a factor, but
Yeah.
the disadvantage for BJP is
Yeah.
that it doesn't have the structure,
Yeah.
organizational structure to encash on this support, which primarily means it's not going to get converted into votes.
Okay. Jyoti, it was the Congress-led UPA which actually acceded to the demand of the Telangana Rashtra Samiti agitation. And people expected them to work together. So why is it that the TRS has turned the tables on the Congress and chosen to go it alone?
Well, I think it's ambition. It's ambition and also it's tactical in the sense that they know that the prospect of another UPA 3 is very, very slim. And so in a certain sense, a certain distance from the Congress is advantageous for the TRS.
So do you think while in Telangana assembly elections you might get a fractured verdict, but TRS is willing to go with a fractured verdict at the state level because it gives it greater flexibility for choosing alliances at the center?
Yes, they are open to anyone.
They've
that is why
always
they've
been
done it.
open to anyone.
It actually opens up multiple options.
Yes.
The TRS can go with the MIM. Telangana, for the benefit of your viewers, you need 60 seats. To form
No,
the
you're
government.
talking of the state assemblies.
Yeah.
I'm talking of the center.
Center also, it can keep the options open depending on who's likely to form the government. If BJP is likely to form the government, they will go with the BJP. Despite all
So it's a purely opportunistic thing.
I mean, you can look at it as opportunism or you can look at it as an ambition. like
Practical
Mr. Sharma
also.
said. You know,
No,
depends on which
I think the question, if I might just say make a general point, I think what has crept into this modern urban post-liberalization vocabulary of politics is this notion of options. As if you're choosing between two mobile phones or choosing between two refrigerators. People, the era of ideological politics is dead. So you don't choose between two imperfect alternatives. You're choosing between Samsung and Sony or whatever else it is. And I think that has brought about this infidelity that political parties seem to exhibit.
Zaid Saab, quickly, don't you think he's overstating it? Because if this were the case, why would the Muslims reject the BJP for its ideology and choose the Congress for its ideology?
They think BJP is a bigger evil.
Exactly.
And another thing is,
Ideological evil.
yeah, ideological.
And political evil.
Politically also.
So they're not choosing mobile phones. So I'll come back to you after the break. We need to take a break at this point. We'll be back again with this interesting discussion in a bit. Don't go away. Welcome back. We are discussing the election scene in Andhra Pradesh. Jyoti, before we went on the break, you wanted to say something. You disagreed with Zaheer.
No, I didn't disagree with him. When Zaheer Saab says that Muslims are voting for the Congress because it's lesser of the two evils, it is only because there is no alternative. If there was an alternative of the kind that Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi is, the scenario as far as Muslim voting would have changed.
Okay. Vasu, let's talk about Simandhra now. Do you think Jagan Reddy's political gamble of supporting a united Andhra Pradesh will actually bring him dividends in Simandra?
In the first place, I don't think he was serious about his United Andhra slogan.
But he did oppose it. Did oppose bifurcation.
Everybody opposed for that matter. Even TDP opposed it, though in a very different fashion. Jagan, of course, abandoned Telangana in that sense and focused only on Simandra. But I don't think division as such is an issue now.
Exactly.
Primarily.
I agree.
People outside Andhra Pradesh need to understand
Yeah.
is that the negative effect of the decision to divide Andhra
Yeah.
Pradesh, Congress has taken the step. So it's no longer an election issue. Simandra election is basically a very serious caste war and a very high voltage money war.
Okay. You seem to agree with
I
it. So
completely agree with. I think the view from Delhi is that this is the fallout of the bifurcation.
okay, what is the issue?
The
What determines the election?
issue is reconfiguration to a greater extent, as Vasu says, of caste politics in Sima Andhra and to a significant extent even in Telangana. I think that is the real politics that is being played out in this state. This whole business of bifurcation, who votes for whom, is okay in a superficial sense. But the real thing, as he says, is this very intense caste war and also money.
Okay.
It's for
Let me
yeah.
add one point. Actually, even without, even if there was no division of Andhra Pradesh, not many people outside Andhra know that Congress would not have fared any better than what it's likely to do now.
Yeah.
Maybe they would have got a few seats instead of a zero now, which is being projected by almost everybody.
In Simandra.
Yeah. Even otherwise, it would not have fared
Yep.
been
Okay.
serious contest.
Okay. Zahid Sahab, do you think Jagan Reddy has lost the initial advantage he had, and actually people say now TDP is doing better than him because of the sort of implosion of the Congress? You know, the Congress got disintegrated.
I think because the Muslims, the Dalit, Christians, they are all going with him right now. And
So he still has the advantage.
no, TDP has an advantage, but it's a neck-to-neck fight.
No, but where does TDP's advantage come from? Do you want to say something on it?
No, the TDP's advantage, I think, is simply a propaganda war. I think I don't seem to see, and I think we were discussing this earlier before the program, Vasu and I simply seem to think that it is overstating, as Chandrababu Naidu always does, what he is and what he will be. I don't see an advantage there. If anyone has an advantage, it's YSRC.
Yeah.
Because of this whole business of Modi and voting for the Lok Sabha, etc., maybe it has an advantage because Naidu has worked in Sima Andhra assiduously over the last
But
few years.
Vasu, who has the disintegration of Congress in Simandra helped? Because most of them have actually joined TDP. Those who left Congress.
I won't base it on who joined, I mean the TDP guys who joined Congress and all that, but
No, Congress guys who joined TDP.
yeah, Congress guys joined. But it's a fact that TDP has gained significantly post-division.
Zahid Sahab, to what extent will Jagan Reddy continue to be the beneficiary of the goodwill that people bore towards his father because of his welfare schemes?
You know, one thing is the corruption during Rajshekhar Reddy period is unparalleled. But he has given some 2-3 schemes to the poor people,
Yeah.
and they have fallen for that. And that will bear him some fruits in this election.
But will they wash away the corruption charges in the CBI case against
No,
Jagan
I
Reddy?
don't think so. No, that's a total different thing. The people, what they say is everyone is corrupt, everyone has looted us. But Rajshekhar Reddy has paid back to us through some government schemes like Arogya Shri, fee reimbursement and other things.
And the son says, I'll double those benefits. I'll share
Yeah.
more of that corruption with you.
With the difference,
Yeah.
with the difference. See, Rajshekhar Reddy was, in the grand feudal sense,
Yeah.
a grand patron. And people, if not in the cities, at least the villages understood that kind of feudatory framework. Jagan Reddy's disadvantage is he's absolutely modern. He doesn't have the vocabulary and the wherewithal to convey that sense of patronage to people. And that's where he will slip.
But his father already converted all Congress leaders into subcontractors in the state, didn't he?
Yeah, but modern subcontractors.
All right. Vasu, let me ask you a slightly different question. Do you think Chandrababu Naidu, in terms of his development agenda, is really a mirror image of Modi? Because he claims that whatever Modi has done in Gujarat, he had done it as chief minister here. He was the neoliberal economy's poster boy. He was the one who set up a disinvestment commission. He sold Nizam sugar mills at throwaway prices, at a pittance. He stopped hiring in government and converted government jobs into contract jobs. He increased electricity tariffs. So, and he presaged Modi in hiring public relations firms to project his image. So, are these two people, Naidu and Narendra Modi, mirror images of each other, similar to each other?
In a way, yes. I don't see any great difference between the two. And when it comes to corruption, like Jahir Sahib was saying, it was a different kind of corruption in those days. Selling of public sector units for a song and all that. Whereas the kind of corruption that Rajshekhar did is something different.
Yeah.
The whole point here is that what is this development that we are talking about? Chandrababu Naidu keeps telling all of us that he is the one who developed Hyderabad. If Hyderabad is today what it is, it's only because of him. In 2004, he got 0 seats. 2009, it was no better. So why are people not voting for him? So I think those sitting here need to discuss what is this development.
Let me ask Zahir Sahib. If Chandrababu Naidu really transformed Hyderabad, then why didn't people vote for him?
Because it's all crony capitalism. He has seen that some 10-15 groups, political groups, patron and businessmen cropped up overnight. They have bagged all the contracts, they have bagged all the government schemes. Like Nizam Sugar Factory, there are so many government factories, they have been leased out to these people. So he thinks that is development, but what is the, people didn't get anything from that.
But he set up high-tech city, Hyderabad.
Yeah, but he did all that and targeted people who he thought would vote for him, who have no stake in the state system.
So they're all outsiders.
No, they have no stake in the system called government. These are people who are urban, middle class, aspirational groups who don't send their children to government schools or colleges.
Yeah.
They send their children abroad.
Yeah.
They have generators. They don't have to depend on electricity supply.
Yes.
They don't have to bother about the municipal corporation's water. Who are you targeting? The lovely diamond-wearing, chiffon-wearing ladies of Banjara and Jubilee Hills who still pine for Mr. Naidu.
Okay.
That's the problem, Bharat. I was
So
telling you
then tell me, in Simandra, for example, where people are also pining for development, so why aren't they going for TDP and BJP? Because they're promising growth,
This
development.
is exactly the same reason. See, in the earlier TDP, BJP avatar, the 99 whatever, you have quadrilateral highways in Simandra. But if you go to the interior villages and even towns, you find women having their morning ablution on the roads. There is a whole problem with this development model. You have CC roads in towns,
You have
but
drip
you don't,
irrigation in Tirupati, but no drinking water.
you don't have drainage system. You don't have drinking water. So the development model is not inclusive.
Do you think that development model was really urban-centric, elite-centric, and it ignored agriculture, it ignored rural areas, and in fact, in Naidu's time, there were farmer suicides, and he got voted out in rural areas because people thought he did nothing for them.
What you say is 100% correct. Their development is only for page 3 people.
Exactly.
Crony people who are around him every time. And everyone was starting getting money. It was not for the general public.
Okay. Jyoti, do you see any urban-rural differences in the electoral support for the two main contenders in Simandra, TRS and TDP BJP alliance?
I don't think so, but I wouldn't be too sure if there would be. I think the legacy, you see, let's go back to what Vasu was saying earlier, even in the case of Simandra. Mr. Naidu, who started the disinvestment process in Andhra Pradesh, got himself photographed with Bill Gates, Bill Clinton. As far as agriculture was concerned, where YSR in 2004 promised free power to farmers, Naidu was the greatest opponent. After that, he started supporting every farmer's cause. He's now come back to developmental plank of Mr. Modi. I think the problem is not an urban-rural divide.
Yeah.
It is the difference between greater credibility and lesser credibility.
Okay.
And Jagan seems to have slightly greater credibility than Naidu without being in power,
Alright.
without being in government.
Vasu, you travelled in Simandra. Do you see a Modi wave there? And are people going to support the BJP despite the fact that BJP was for bifurcation of the state?
First of all, I am not seeing a Modi wave.
Yeah.
Second, in my view, it's an unnatural alliance. It's unnatural because BJP supported division, but went with a party that is perceived as being
Yeah.
against creation of Telangana state in Telangana. While in Simandra,
Yeah.
people seem to feel that, but for BJP, the division would not have happened at all.
Okay.
So I doubt in terms of electoral dividends, how far this alliance is going to work. That's number one. Number two is the kind of ruckus that you have seen between the two parties before they finally formed up the alliance.
Let me take that question to Zaheer Sab. Zaheer Sab, how upset are TDP workers with Chandrababu Naidu for handing over at least 4 seats where BJP has no structure, no support? They say that these 4 seats have been gifted to Jagan Reddy by Chandrababu Naidu.
You know, Naidu is desperate to get back power. So even in 2009, he has given so many seats to TRS,
Yeah.
where his party was very strong, so that he get power. So he can do anything. And one more thing, I'll tell you, not many people understand this. There's a huge social engineering taking place both in Sima Andhra and Telangana. The power vests with only 3 castes, Kamas, Velmas and Kapus, Reddys. Kapus are the biggest caste in Andhra,
They are a backward caste.
backward class. They are forward
Slightly
class
above
there.
the backward
Okay.
class. They're not
They are-
categorized as backward class.
But there's social engineering which is taking place that will, because Telangana has happened just 3 months back, next election, what I expect is there will be a hung assembly. So next election, you will see the actual results, power going to the people.
Both in Simandra and Telangana?
Yes.
Do you agree with that,
I
Jyoti?
think it's going to happen this time as far as the assembly elections are concerned, even this time.
Okay, what will happen quickly?
I think a hung assembly as far as Telangana is concerned, and probably Jagan having a slight edge in Simandra.
Okay, all right.
I don't know whether Vasu.
No, I agree with that.
You
I mean, in Simandra, there is no scope for a hung assembly because there is no third player.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as elections draw close,
Yeah.
one of the two have to inch beyond the.
But it won't be hung in Simandra as far as my instinct
But in
goes.
Telangana, I'm sure. I mean, I'm
Okay,
inclined
alright.
to believe it's going to be hung.
Yeah.
We've run out of time. I'd like to thank all of you for having come here and shared your valuable analysis with our viewers. With that, I say goodbye to you. Have a free and fair election and don't forget to vote.